back to another great episode of Partner Honesty. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
And today's topic is
anything and everything.
Okay, Jesus. Amen.
Yeah. So what you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Wait, hold on. We have been
to?
doing this podcast for 3 years, and I went back and looked at some of our which ones got the most, and it made me think it's interesting because I think some of our topics get a lot of engagement because I think people might be experiencing it at that moment, but the ones that got the most were blended families and daughters shutting their mothers out. So that must be a hot topic right now.
So I have heard that moms are being canceled, and I was like, what the hell does that even mean? What do you mean you're canceling your mom? And I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know how you do it. I know if you've had a terrible relationship with them, I can understand why you would do it, but if they're pretty decent, why do you need to shut them out?
Well, and I also read it, like people saying, this is their first time that they were raising kids too, right? Your parent might not have been the best, or you might have whatever. Even now, they did the best that they knew at the time.
Yeah.
And now kids are coming back saying, well, you did that. And some of them are horrible. Okay, I got that. But the general parent that maybe was a little strict or maybe a little this or a little that, they're coming back saying you were this. They were doing the best that they knew at the time with the knowledge they had. The knowledge that we have now is not the same thing as 20 years ago.
So much more. Because you got it in your fingers. You can
I can look where my kid is. I can see what they're looking up online. I can do all this stuff. When we were younger, we didn't even have internet.
And then you could get advice.
Yeah.
You could get advice immediately. Either you could use, other people on social media. You can ask the internet. You can ask AI. You can ask anybody. And there's so much literature out there about how to be a better parent that, of course, parents now should be better. But are they really?
But then there's also, too, like the 40-year-old parents, right? Your kids are grown now. And I think some kids are frustrated that the parents are now living their life. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm 46. Nick is 48. We have one kid left at home who's 16. Other than that, everybody's gone and on their own. We want to go do our own thing. And it's almost like, you're what? You're doing what? You guys are going where? Without us? What? Like, we're living our life now.
All the time.
Yeah.
You're going on another trip? What do you mean? When I had 4 kids at home, sometimes 6. How do you know you count 6? I didn't have the money to go nowhere.
Right.
Or if I took everybody, that was one trip we did here. And we done because I'm broke.
Right, I agree. Our trips are crazy.
But now I don't have to pay for lunches, backpacks, school supplies,
shoes,
clothes,
sports.
Yeah. All of that. I don't have to pay for that. So I have extra money. Why should I not use it on me?
Yeah. And I do think too that until you become a grandparent, that's your only window of time again to kind of enjoy your...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Because then as a grandparent, you want a babysitter, they want to help, or they need this or they need that, whatever. But it's kind of funny when you think about that. And then blended families, we did a lot of video takes on that one.
Yeah, we did.
And they all had really high engagement. And it's funny because just recently I had a conversation with someone and their kids are all grown too, but they're still a blended family and they're still arguing about stuff. And I'm like, man, that blended family thing never goes away. I think even if you figured it out, people still have their feelings about their kids and you have your feelings about your kids. And it's like...
But do you think the cancel moms culture and the blended family... We're fighting. I think they go together because I have a blended family. We have 3 boys, 3 girls. Half of them we don't hear from. And I really can't understand why. I know one of them is upset right now. And okay, I understand that. You can be upset. I'm never going to tell you shouldn't. I don't understand it. I think it's crazy. But okay, you get to have your feelings and your emotions. We got a couple that do talk to us regularly, or they'll talk to one parent versus the other parent. But I don't understand it because it feels like, yes, we made mistakes. We weren't perfect. We didn't go into this knowing everything you need to know about a blended family, how to make it work. We tried to do the therapy. We went to all the things and tried to bring everybody together, but there is still a divide and I don't understand it. I probably never will. They are free to say to us, hey, I'm pissed off because X, but we don't really get that either. So I don't know. I just feel like if we're not doing what they want us to do, then we're terrible.
Right. And sometimes I think, like, we have a very big blended family too. And I think sometimes it's up to the kid at some point. You know, Nick has more children than I, and some of them he doesn't have a relationship with, some he does. There's two sides to every story, number one. There's the dad side and the mom side. And then there's the truth. There's always different versions. But if you only got one side from one parent, that's a factor. Then you become an adult. Why are you not taking that opportunity to learn for yourself? And then when you do, you can decide, okay, you did F up a lot of things, but you're really trying now. So let's move forward. I don't understand why kids, I feel like these days, nobody wants to move forward. Everybody wants to be angry or hold you to the one thing you did. And you could take even ownership. Yes, I'm sorry, I did that. I did know there's bad choice. Let's move forward. And it's like, they don't want to do that. They want to be angry or mad or cancel you or...
So I'm basically the kettle calling the pot black, because there are situations in my own personal life that you and I talk about quite often that I'm like, I'm still angry because they did this to me, and they keep reminding me, and they keep doing things similar to me that pisses me off. And I'm learning, okay, well, Tiffany, if you want them to stop doing that, you have to speak up. So I'm learning to speak up. But there are still certain situations that I'm like, I can't get over. I'm just going to hold on to it. And I know that's terrible. And I think kids do that as well.
Yeah, I think kids do it and they hold on to it because it's easier than to say, you know what, I forgive you. Or
you can use that against me to get what you want.
Well, that too. Like, it's funny because we have a bunch of kids, and, you know, we have relationships with some we don't, and I don't want to, like, clarify who I'm talking about. But some kids are so funny because they'll keep you as far away as they can until they need something. And then it's like, hey, ABC. And I'm like, could you start with how are you? Or what's going on? Or how's everybody? Like, why don't we pretend to care?
No.
But yet you're so bad. But
but I only want you when I need something.
Yeah, and then we have other kids that I love that include us in everything. If they're mad, they tell us they're mad. If they're happy, they tell us they're happy. They tell us there's no secrets. They're adults. You don't have to hide shit from us anymore. I'm not paying for it. So you want to go do some dumb shit, have at it. Don't call me to bail you out. So, and they know that. So it's funny the dynamics of, and then my mom just came to visit. And I was thinking about that, the dynamics of kids and parents and your stages of life that you go through. You know, when you're little, mom and dad are everything, you know. Then you become a teenager, you don't want anything to do with your parents. And then you get a young adult and you're like, oh, my parents aren't so bad. And they actually might know what they're talking about. Then you become in your 20s, and then it's like, you want their knowledge, but you don't want their knowledge, and you don't want to tell them what you're really doing because you don't want to hear their opinion
or be judged.
Yeah, and it's like, and then now here I am in my 40s. My mom came to visit, and it was fine, but some things she'd say, and I'm just like, bite your tongue, bite your tongue, bite your tongue, bite your tongue, because it's not worth the argument. It's not worth. Our time is limited,
right?
We can't go back. We were talking about, my daughter said something, and she goes, well, don't worry, she'll end up in therapy talking about you. I said, oh, she already does. And mom made a joke about my childhood. I said, I've never blamed anybody for my childhood. I was like, I've never blamed anybody for my childhood. I know exactly how I was raised. I know what characteristics I got from being raised that way. I don't blame anything. I get upset more with my father's past and my mother about more current events. And then I hate when they don't want to have that conversation. If I'm an adult and you're an adult, I'm trying to have a conversation with you about what's bothering me, but you get shut down or told that, you know, that's where I think the divide comes. And instead of canceling, you just put space.
Yeah. Or you put a wall.
Yeah. You know.
But you're right, because I was thinking about that as well. There are a lot of things my parent, my adopted mom, does or doesn't do that I'm like, I'm not so sure that I would do that like that, or I would say that to that person. But I would never fix my lips to say to her, why'd you do that? I don't want to talk to you ever again because you did that. I would never disrespect her because I know what she sacrificed to help raise me and to help raise my kids. So I don't understand the disrespect that kids give parents, because without them, where would you be?
But I also think kids now are so much more entitled. They're so spoiled. They're so entitled. And parents, we bail them out left and I mean, we have one kid. We have a bunch of kids in college at this point, but we have one kid who has maybe $4 left in his checking account, 28 maybe in his savings, something like that. And we're not giving him a penny. We'll help with groceries.
Okay.
But you don't, what do we need to give you money for? You out here living the high life. Your job is to go to school and eat, shower, and live. And that's what's happening. So like, and then it's like, what do you mean? That's not my job.
No, not anymore.
But I feel like they expect that. Like, well, I can go spend $50 on cover charges on a weekend. Why wouldn't you give me money then?
Because
what?
You're
like,
an adult.
But now I've talked to other adults our age that have said, well, we pay for everything for our kids in college so they can get the experience and not worry about it and just focus on their studies. And
I did not do that. I'm terrible at some things, but that is one thing I am not terrible at. I'm not paying for you to live your best life in college.
I mean, because the goal is for you to go to school. You can live your best life when you're getting your own paycheck.
Okay.
Now make sure you have a roof over your head,
yes,
food in your belly, and you have books and stuff. But everything else...
I don't think I even paid for food. I was a terrible college parent, Mom.
No, you probably did, because if they went away, they probably had food as part of their bills.
I didn't pay for their school. I told every one of my little people, let me tell you something. I'm helping you get through high school without a baby. And hopefully you get a scholarship and get some grades to get you into a financial aid situation to help you. I'm not paying for college. I did not pay for anybody's college. Now, there are a couple of them that were able to use my military benefits to go to college. But what you did with that money?
Right, that too.
You on your own.
That too.
You on your own.
Yeah.
So at the last 2-3 years, you didn't have no money for school. You better get you some student loans.
Yeah, because I feel that too. I think like teenagers now, they want all the things, but they don't want to work for it. And they literally expect the parent to provide it, to do it. Everything.
Yeah, so maybe I felt guilty because I didn't help them in college. That's why I help them now, but
there has to be a limit, because if I know I'm helping you now, and I think there's a difference. If I'm helping you now and you're busting your ass and you're trying to do side jobs and you're helping me at the house, we have a relationship, is one thing.
Yes.
But you call me once a month and say, I need $500 and you out here
doing whatever
you're doing, and then want me to I'm like,
no, don't do that, parents.
That's not really fair.
That's not, no. The whole without a relationship thing, that's the part that bothers me the most, because where you been all the other months that you didn't need my help?
I mean, you can't even text and say, how are you?
No.
What's up?
No.
Hello? That's what I said the other day. I'm like, I'm literally trying to put all of our kids into a group chat on Snapchat. And I try to comment in there once every couple days, but like every Sunday now I'm starting where I say, hey everybody, have a great week, blah, blah. Give me something positive you all did last week. I'm trying to connect the siblings, the parents, and then you get that kid who's just nothing. I'm like, seriously? I hope you don't talk like this to all your other relationships, because this is probably why they don't work.
But that thing about positivity is very, very, very important, I think, because today I went to a property that I was like, oh my gosh. And instead of complaining and being pissed off about it, I started saying, well, it could have been worse. At least I can pay somebody to come and clean it. At least it's been rented enough to pay, going down the laundry list instead of focusing on the negative. And I don't know if we teach that enough. Don't focus on the negative. Even if something bad happens, pick out 3 or 4 good things that are still about that situation. That's good. It's
so hard. Let's see. Like this last week, I have friends that have found out their spouses have cheated on them. I have friends who are going through divorce. I have friends who lost a baby. And, so I feel like it gets heavy. I think at our age, it's like so much harder. When you've been married so many years and you're finding out that marriage isn't going to work, and if you're someone who stayed home on the female perspective, and that man did this and then leaves, and now you're like, I don't have a job, I haven't had a job, and raising kids, like that's tough. I have a friend trying to have a baby for years, and she finally got pregnant and lost the baby. Like, I think it's so hard to you have to stay positive, because it's very easy but it's so hard to do that. Like, I think it really takes some good circle. It takes positive encouragement. But the thing that I think
for me, it's like, Tiffany, you was all flipping out about that stupid little property, but look what somebody else is going through.
Yeah. And I think too, I think it just goes to show everybody has shit. And there's so many of these people that you would look at and never expect it. never expect the struggle, never expect their kids cutting them out. You never expecting losing a child. You don't, like, because for the one friend, she didn't tell anybody that she was going through this. So, like, she's, you know, it's very private. And it's like, so you might run across her and be like,
she is the happiest person. She has the best spirit. She's a great person.
And now she's struggling. And so I feel like, I don't know, I think like with our podcast, I went back the other day and was listening to so many episodes, like 5 minutes. Y'all really should go watch them. They're good.
They are really good.
They are really good. And we cover a lot of topics. And all it kept telling me is that people relate to this because everybody who listens is going through something. Whether it's a breakup, a divorce, kids, fighting with your spouse. You know, there's so many people who still like to pretend marriages are perfect. And it's like,
I don't know what.
We were talking the other day, some friends of us, it came down again to like, you want to keep your husband happy, you just got to have sex. The women's got this list, right? I need you to talk like I need to do this, I need to, the men's like, dude, if we can have sex so many times a week, we good. Like,
is that wild or what? And it blows my mind.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
It blows my mind so much.
All it takes. And this is like multiple people from different ages, different whatever. It's like,
it's so true.
Yeah. And then I went to our lunch with our ladies that we go to once a month. And one of the ladies, I think she's 65, she went on a cruise all by herself, had the time of her life. Another lady in the room is older, has an older son who's 55, and he was almost dead from bacterial meningitis. And it's like, you look in this room of people and everybody has something. You can choose to live it up. You can choose to be, and that brought us to the caretaker episode because she's taking care of her son. They're releasing him, but she's bringing him to her house. And I said, well, you need to make sure that you're taking time for yourself. She's like, well, that's why I'm here today. So I'm thinking the caretaker episode. Yeah. So many people are taking care of a child, a parent, a husband, an ill person, something. Are you taking time for yourself? So like every episode we've done is so relatable to people.
3 whole years.
3 years. And we've talked about blended families. We've talked about divorce, cheating, money. I mean, money is a huge one.
You talked about secrets. Jesus. My secrets still got me by the chokehold.
Secrets. I mean, yeah, everything. But I think it's so cool because the people who do listen always say like, oh my God, that spoke to me. Or, oh my gosh, I felt like you were talking about me. And I think that's why, you know, we don't have like this crazy following. But I think if it did, I think somebody could find an episode for everything to relate to.
Of course.
And we talk about it openly.
Yes, and we're talking about experience. We're not just having someone that's an expert come and share. Yeah. We're talking about our firsthand crazy ass life, things happening, good and bad, happening in real time so that you understand you are not alone.
So what do you think about this? So if you have multiple children or grandchildren, do you believe in equal time, equal finances, equal everything? So you have a kid who lives here and you have a kid who lives in Charlotte, let's say.
Okay.
You do.
I do.
You do.
I do.
Like if you go and buy, let's just say one of your kids lives here, okay? And your other girl does not. So if you buy a $500 pair of shoes, okay, they're all grown.
Okay.
Do you then go and distribute that to all your kids?
Hell no, because I'll be broke.
So then how does that work? To keep it quote unquote fair.
To keep it fair. So this month, say we spend $500 on one kid. Okay, you're good. You probably will not get any more money from me for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. The other kid, okay, you didn't need $500. Same time they needed $500, but 2 months later you need help with your car.
But you do believe it should be equal, or no, not necessarily.
Not necessarily, because if we were honest, everybody, well, all the kids say I give more to the one than everybody else. But I have given more to another child than that child. And it's normally the boys and not the girls. So that's our episode. Are we raising daughters and supporting sons?
Yeah.
So yes. So one daughter, I help her with her car insurance. And that's probably about it. The other, I had been helping them with their rent. Another one, I had helped them with their rent until I finally said, I'm sorry, I'm done. The other daughter, pretty much maybe $100 here or there, but not really anything. But they do go to the other parent. So
there's a different,
they use the other parent, like, okay, I asked mom, she said no, I can't do it, then they might go ask the other parent.
But like, I felt bad. So we have our kids that live with us, or are more, have lived with us or closer to us, or however you want to put it. And then we have some older kids, and one of the older kids is, you know, kind of coming back into our life per se.
Okay.
So we were helping them move like a week or two ago, and I felt bad because I'm like, so I told Nick, like, send him a couple $100 on Cash App just so they know that, like, we'll help with something.
Okay.
But I'm sure it's not equal to everything we've ever done for art. But I'm like, we don't necessarily have that relationship. We've been out of each other's lives for years, and I don't want our relationship to be made about money.
No, absolutely.
You know, I don't want it to be, oh, I need money, let's go ask them. And I don't want to blur those lines. But then sometimes I feel guilty, like, are we being equal? Are we being fair?
I don't think you'll ever be equal with your kids, period. And I say that because, one, what is the relationship like? Is this kid appreciative? Do they come around and talk to you besides asking for help? And if that's the case, yes, I'm going to be more willing to help that child versus somebody that just calls me when they need money.
Yeah.
Because what the hell? I'm not.
So that's what I've been trying to teach some of our kids. It's like, you don't just reach out to us when you need something. Like, I get, great, I'm glad you have safety net in us. But program a text randomly to say, hey, just checking in, hope y'all are well, to make it seem like at least you are at least being appreciative of the relationship you have. But like, I tell some of the kids, like, this is getting old, that the only time we hear from you is to talk about yourself or ask for something from us. Yes. That's not the same as our other kids who share and talk and hang out and, you know, involve you and, like, you know, and then they ask for something and you're like, oh, well, I mean, they don't use us for anything.
Well, yeah. So I would feel used. And so, no, I'm not going to give you as much as I would give any of the other kids that I don't feel used.
But that's what I hate, though, is like parents, children, grandchildren, where money becomes a factor of the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, my mom's parents never gave my parents any money, and my parents never gave us any money.
I was going to say that. We didn't have no safety net.
No.
I was the safety net for myself.
Yeah, right.
And so, for me to be that for my children is definitely a privilege, but it's not a requirement. I don't have to do anything for you after 18.
Yeah. I mean, I want to take care of my kids, but I don't want you dependent on me where you don't realize and learn how to take. That's what I said Nick the other day. I said, if they don't fail and feel the failure, then we're just going to keep providing and affecting our lives to give them the shit show they're going to keep putting themselves in.
Yeah. So that's something Ed told me the other day. He was like, a lot of our problems don't have anything to do with us. It has to do with
the kids.
We are trying to be everything
the kids
for everybody else.
The kids.
Everybody's problems is become our problems, and that causes us to clash.
Yes.
Like,
it's the kids, and if you don't have the same perspective, and then you add blended family into the kids situation, that's what you fight over. That is what you fight over. And it was funny because my mom was here and she said something like, my mom hates if you don't have cable. Okay? She thinks you're broke if you don't have cable. I have not had cable, paid for cable in 20 some years.
That is hilarious.
So we have Netflix, Hulu, whatever. Yeah. When my mom comes, she hates it, right? So the other day we're out and she goes, well, yeah, when we visited you when you first moved here, so 24 years ago, I was married at the time, I was very young, and they came to visit the apartment and they wanted to watch cable, and I said, we don't have cable, we only have Netflix or Hulu, whatever it was, 24 years ago.
Back then?
Yeah. And so, whatever stream, maybe it was a different streaming service then, but we didn't have cable. And if we had TV, I think it was basic channels. Like, we did not pay for cable. We were on a very small budget, though, too. I just left my job. We moved here. So anyways, she was telling me how after we left the room, my dad had said to her, do you think they need help? Do you think she needs help? Do you think they're poor? And mom was like, I don't know. And I told my mother, I said, you never would have known it if I was. You're the last person I'd ask for. I never have asked my parents for money. They never would have known if I was struggling. And I use that example multiple times to her on this visit. Like, you never would have known. Like, and it's funny now because kids, they don't even care. And they call and
Mama, can you
I need to go out with my friends. Can you give me $25? Can you? I want this, I want that. I need name brand that. And you're like, and I'm thinking, like, I could have been struggling, and my mother and father, not because they wouldn't have helped. It was just the last people I was going to ask if I needed help.
I knew I couldn't ask. I didn't have anybody to ask. Even if really, really desperately needed it, they didn't have it.
Yeah.
So I never asked.
But did we create that? We had to have created that from the time they were little. Oh, you want a candy bar? Check out. Oh, you want this? You want 7 shoes? And now they're 13 expecting the same thing as a 5-year-old. And I don't know, but it's bad. Now, some of my kids, they don't ask us for anything. I mean, they don't ask us for anything. They are besties with us, but they don't ask for anything. And then I've got other kids that are like,
we're not besties, but they don't ask us for anything.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I know if they ask, it's obviously important.
Okay, yes. Or if they ask, I would be like, "Oh Jesus, what's wrong? We need to go see about them because
that's not normal.
Never ask for anything."
Yeah.
So I don't know. Have we created them? I think we created a lot of chaos with this next generation just because we wanted them to have a better life than what we had. We wanted their lives to be easier, but like you're saying, until they have that failure, until they go through that hard thing and have to figure it out for themselves, then they're going to come to us to get the help.
Yeah, but I also think too, like social media and phones have ruined the expectation of life. I was thinking, we were at church today and there was this little boy next to us. He had to maybe be 2, if that, wide open. And Mama was trying, but this boy was wide open. We were laughing. I was like, now it's funny to us. When I was her age with a kid, I probably would have been stressed out. Embarrassed, stressed out. We're sitting over here giggling because he's like thinking he's Rocky. Like, it was so funny. But immediately she puts him in front of the phone. No. And he's on YouTube, and it's not YouTube Kids. And you see him just flipping every 5 seconds. Watch a video, flip. Watch a video, flip. And I'm thinking,
at 2?
He's maybe 2. And I'm like, think about our kids who are 14, 15, 16. How much time they spend on their devices. Look at their phone. Go take your kids. So many parents don't check their kids' phone. Go check their phone usage on social. 8 hours, 9 hours a day. So they're getting these fake impressions like, oh, this kid's rich, or this kid has this, or I could do this, or I could do that.
I should be getting this.
I should be getting this.
Or that.
Or they're putting a persona online that they're this or wear this. And it's amazing to me how much their brains have been taken over by that. And I know adults do that too. I mean, I get that. There's this guy online, God, what is his name? Saku and something. I don't know. They were a married couple apparently. And all of a sudden, this is in my news feed. Every 3 things. Really? Because apparently she cheated. They're getting and everybody, there's like millions of comments of people following these people and commenting. I'm like, why? We are so invested in strangers. Do you talk to your own husband that much? Do you talk to your own, do you talk to your kids that much? But you're on here invested in these freaking people's lives who mean nothing to you. Now think about what our kids do. They add anybody to social media.
Yes.
They talk to whoever. They don't know who they are, who they're not. They're putting their location. Hey, I'm going here. Is anybody going there? Is this? Is that? I mean, they're so open.
No. Stop it.
They have no discernment about people either. Like, everybody's their friend. And I don't think they realize everybody is not your friend.
No, everybody's not your friend.
But they don't see that. Especially some of my college kids. Oh, they're so nice. They're always hanging out in my apartment.
Did y'all watch Dayline and True TV in 2020?
And then you got in trouble. Then you got in trouble for having a dirty apartment. Well, who told on you?
Okay. Well,
somebody who came to your apartment. Right.
Because friends don't tell them.
Friends don't.
I'm going to take whatever secret she tells me to the grave. Ain't nobody going to know. Yeah. Okay?
So it's like, I don't know. No, this last week and a half, I'm just like, there's so much in daily lives. From work, and then if you're a person of faith, right? You may not, that's fine. But if you're a person of faith and you pray and you tithe, you do all this stuff, and you want all these good things to happen, and then all the bad stuff starts happening, you're like,
you know what? I had a conversation.
What's happening?
About that the other day, and who was I talking to? I don't remember who it was, but we kind of got on the subject of why I stopped going to church. Or Ed and I were having a conversation, and he was like, the reason you don't see young people in church is because they already got drama with the social media work all their lives. Why do I want to have that same crazy drama and hot ghetto mess when I go to the church?
But I don't agree with that. See, I disagree. I feel like there's an awakening because you're seeing so many more kids get involved in church. I think people don't like the idea of church. Organized church. You have a ton of kids going to youth group. You got tons of kids going on these mission trips. But to go Sunday morning at 9 a.m., you're not getting them there. And most kids, well, I'll say from my experiences, my kids and our kids' friends, they don't get involved in the church like that to be part of the drama. They show up on Sundays because we go, and then they had youth group and they play and have pizza. Youth group is fun. Like, it's not church. Okay. So, I mean, it's church.
I mean, not young people like teen boppers, I'm talking about young adults.
I think
like
young adults avoid accountability.
What?
I ask my daughter all the time, why are you not going to church anymore? Well, I want to sleep in. I'm tired. I don't know anybody, like whatever it is. And there's just not, I think too, if you're a young adult and you actually participate in church, you might not have you might not involve, we don't get involved with people at the church, right? Okay. We don't have friends there. We don't go to small groups. But when you sitting in there and he's preaching about whatever and you're like, oh shit, he's talking about me. That's accountability, right? So I think young people, like I asked Madison, like why, and she knows more than I know about the Bible. She is a child of faith. She prays. She's prayed for our friend. But when I'm like, why aren't you going to church? I don't know. The last one was kind of boring, and I like to sleep in. I don't want to get up and get ready. It's laziness. I feel like.
I don't know. I do see that.
Because she would never get involved with a small group. Like she would not. She will go to church and she will leave. She never even really did youth group. So I think it's weird. I don't know. Honestly.
I don't know. I think it depends on the church, because I do understand that some great, wonderful places have some not so great reputations.
Well, and I think what's happened in our world today is if I say I'm a Christian, okay, I'm a racist. I mean, you hear so many people that if you say I'm a Christian and I love the United States and I'm going to church, it's like, oh, you're a bigot, you're racist, you're something. You have a very negative stigma to you. And so I feel like this younger generation, if they start saying, I want to go to church and I go to church, they're automatically going to get judged. I mean, I have girls in college, like one of them has told me, I don't say anything in class because I don't care if you're left, right, middle, I don't care. But if you don't have the same views, they are sitting in class like trashing people, like the professor, the students. So she says, unless it's something that is very important for me to speak up, I don't say a word because I'm the odd man out. So this generation of 18 to 25-year-olds is very opinionated and very focused on you have to be this way or you automatically means you're this. And so I think that affects people being open about who they are. I think it affects just conversation in general.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is crazy. You should hear some of the topics they talk about in school and kids' responses to it. And if you have a different opinion, it's like you're a racist or you're this or you're just stuck in your culture or you're this or you're that. And it doesn't matter if you're black or white. It goes both ways. Like it goes both ways in the content of what they're talking about. So if you have this view and you don't change it, or you're this and don't have this view. And so it's like, I think it's too hard for kids to actually stand up and want to like
be themselves, be free
in this young adult stage, because you're going to get canceled. You're going to get labeled. You're going to get assumed you're something. And I'm like,
I must be too
and I don't want to defend myself. Like, I believe in God, but I also don't care if two women get married. Like, I don't care. But if I say I'm a Christian, and most people, they're going to assume I'm immediately against that. That's just their assumption because they're not educated, right? So when you don't get educated, or you only watch things that are one-sided, like that's the thing that kills me, is people will watch something from their perspective that has been taught to them and reinforce them, and they don't take the time to learn the other perspective to say, nope, I still don't agree with you. Or, you know what? I see your point. Yes, I don't agree, but I can see your point, and I respect that.
Well, why can't we do that? To me, that feels really closed-minded and immature, that you're not willing to have a conversation with me to figure out, why do I feel this way? Why do you feel that way? I never thought about it like that.
But let's say you're an atheist, and I'm not. Why should that affect our friendship?
I don't know.
As long as
I'm not going to try to stop you from being
right.
Christian.
As long as you don't say, oh, don't pray around me, or don't say God bless you or something crazy. You have your belief. You go home, and I get up on Sunday. Why should that affect us and our friendship? But people I see it more now too, that if we don't agree on everything, well then we must hate each other, or we have to fight. Like, no, we don't. I think media has a lot to do with that too. But you have to really challenge yourself, especially if it's somebody in your circle. Well, why do you feel that way? What do you think? Why? Okay, I don't agree with you, but I see what you're saying. So hopefully you'll respect what I'm saying. But I don't think it has to go to immediately. And so that's why I think kids What I'm seeing with my children from 18 to 23 is that it's a struggle of, do I try to say and do the right thing to fit in?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have my own voice? Do I go with the crowd? Do I just follow what everybody else is doing? I think maturity plays into that.
That's true.
I see a big difference between the boys and the girls.
Of course.
And that's the other thing with religion. Okay, I try not to bust out my kids, but it's like process of elimination. But so some of my children, they all don't really have a strong faith. Okay, fine. You know, they'll go to church with us, but they're not praying and they're not reading the Bible. Okay. Why does one of them, their first tattoo is a cross, and they want to put a Bible verse under it, and another kid is wearing a giant St. Michael's charm that's freaking Catholic, and I'm like,
because somebody told them that was cute.
Is that it? Like it's a trend, so I'm going to put a cross on me and just pretend like I'm Christian?
No, I think deep down they feel, okay, yes, I need God in my life. I have some belief that the reason I'm still here and I'm doing okay is because of him,
but if you have that on your body, you better be able to defend yourself, because somebody's going to come at you for believing in your God. So if you don't have a faith, how are you going to stand there and defend your God that you have on your body if you don't have a true and deep enough faith?
I never thought about it like that.
That's what blows my mind.
I thought it like that, because all of the kids, I mean, I PK, believe it or not.
What's PK?
Preacher's kid. But I am.
That makes sense. See, all those preacher kids get pregnant young, going out, doing the wild things. That makes sense. Preacher kid. That totally makes sense.
But
no offense to any other preacher
I mean, but I do feel that, okay, I'm not totally against religion. I just don't go to organized church events. And the reason I don't go is because all those years seeing, okay, this one thing we're saying you're supposed to do, you're supposed to do, you're supposed to do. But on the other hand, seeing behind the scenes of,
that's not what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in my experience of going to church, I was like, that cannot be okay. So I can't be a part of it. I can't go. I don't want to be a part of the drama. I don't want to know the nasty, dirty.
See, but that's funny. I've been going to church there for like, what, 4 years now? 5 years now? I don't know anything about anybody. I don't get involved like that.
Yeah, I was really involved.
I show up, I do service, I leave. Yes. I see Kayla, I give her a hug, and I leave.
We were very.
Now this week, last week and this week, I'll be going prayer morning at 6. But you just sit in there and pray, and they play music. But like, I don't get that involved.
Yeah, but it's been a long time since I've been that involved, and like I said, I just finally came to a head. This is disgusting.
But see, and that's, to me, sometimes people are like, well, people at church are hypocrites, and I'm like,
everybody's a hypocrite.
Well, everybody's but are they though? Because I go to church and I am a strong Christian. I'll say I believe in God. I will pray for you if you ask me to. But I don't follow God's law to the T. Girl, let me tell you all the things. I've cussed 3 times while I've been on here. Like, I don't follow, but I do believe that Jesus died for. Like, so to say because people go to church and they do dumb stuff, they're a hypocrite. I think that's the point. That's why they're there. They know they do stuff.
The one thing that I did take away from all my experience at church is you can't, if you're going to church, like you're getting the word, you're applying it to yourself, becoming better. No, you're not all deep into what they're doing behind the scenes, and I think that's absolutely fine. But you can't put your faith in the person that's teaching or the people that are inside the church. You have to put your faith in God. Absolutely. And so when you stop focusing on God and you focus on the man, of course you're going to see all the flaws.
Absolutely.
Everybody has flaws. We're not perfect. That's why we go to church. So,
but I think that's where, like this week though. Okay, so Monday I went to prayer in the morning, right? And I said, God, please let my friend get pregnant. So Monday, find out she's pregnant. So I'm like, God heard me. But wait, I wasn't specific enough because she said the numbers had to go up. So go back Tuesday morning and I'm like, God, please let the numbers go up. Let her keep this baby, right? So Wednesday she gets her blood work and the numbers went up. So I'm like, oh, God's listening. So I'm like, now I have to go the whole week. Because I can't not go now that I've been praying and I got what I wanted, right? Yeah. So then I pray again and then Friday she lost the baby. And I was like, I'm like, God, like what? Like I was so mad. But then, that's not how it works. But I see how people get like, Like my mom even said to me, like, why do bad things happen then? I'm like, well, it's free will too. Like God created all of us, and I can choose right now to go across the street and burn down that house if I want to. I mean, he doesn't have like a puppet string, but I just find it interesting because I'm like, it's very interesting that we can put our faith in something we don't see, but we sometimes won't put our faith in other people.
Put your faith in this chair every time you sit down. Don't even give it a second thought. You just like, chair gonna hold me.
But it's like we don't give other people in general, like you just immediately just like, no. And it could be your mom, your boyfriends, your husbands, your kids. It's like, no, we don't have faith they're gonna change. We don't believe they're gonna change. We don't.
That is hitting on some nerves. Oh, Jesus, Lord.
But like we said last time, actions speak louder than words. I mean, if I give you a chance and you keep blowing it, you can say all you want, but your actions aren't matching what you're saying. So
I think God still does the same thing with us. We can pray, and He might answer 1 or 2 times, and we make the promises. I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. God, if you do this for me, and then after a while, He like, I ain't doing nothing else for your crazy tail because you just using me.
Yeah.
Like kids.
Yeah. He was talking about tithing day. He goes, now don't put $5 in thinking he's going to give you $5,000.
No, ma'am.
But yeah, it's been a very interesting couple of weeks. And can you believe we're already at the end of, like, end of August?
Yes.
Christmas is going to be in like 4 months.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know what we're doing. We're doing something. I think, I used to say this all the time when I was a kid. Time goes by so slow. Why are we still sitting in this classroom? We're ready to go home. Now I feel like time is going by so fast.
Yes.
So fast. In 6 months, I'll be 52.
Yeah.
Wonder Jesus.
It's crazy.
I didn't think I would make it to 25.
When you said Ed was 56, I was like, no way.
That little fella is 56 years old. You can't even tell it.
No, he's running triathlons and like.
I'm not doing that.
No.
You don't have to count me in.
Listen, we got tired chasing him down to see his checkpoints.
Right.
I was like, where do we gotta walk? Why?
He got a month before the next one. And I think he's going to do a full one after that. And I was like, you're crazy.
He's crazy.
Hey, he loves it. And I'm there to support. Hey, I'm looking cute. I'll be able to take your picture. Okay. All right, guys. So look, we've been doing this 3 years. Yeah. We said at the beginning. So go look at some of the episodes. Come back. Put in the comments what you like, what you think we could do as far as topics. Give us 5 stars so we can be found out by some of those big fancy people who want to put us on a TV show or radio show or a big fancy podcast.
Something, yeah.
Because then we can sit here and talk to y'all all day long.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you love that? Anyway, guys, until next time, be good and